Welcome to What Self-Care Looks Like. I'm your host, Brittany Elliott. It may be hard to hear, but self-care is not spa days, a weekend getaway, or brunch with your bestie. True self-care is the practice of protecting your well-being and happiness, and it lives within your daily routine. I'm a self-care and mom life coach here to help you prioritize your needs and practice self-care in a meaningful way so you can reclaim joy in your motherhood experience. Let's get back to you. There are so many things pushing us to be taken away from the present when we are deep in planning and anticipating what comes next. And I'm hoping that today's episode, while it's a little more off the cuff, just shines on some light on ways for you to be present. If you're new here, I am Brittany Elliott. I am a mom life coach. I am an author. I host this podcast. I'm a mom. I work full time. I'm married. I am really dedicated to helping working moms, especially rediscover their identities and reclaim joy in the motherhood experience. And I've noticed lately, and it's probably because we are approaching back to school season, that so much is pulling us into the future and outside of the present. I already saw people posting about fall and Halloween. And at the time that I'm recording this episode, we're still in July. And with all this eagerness to be ahead of the game and be prepared for what's to come, we are taking ourselves out of the moments that truly matter, which are the moments we are currently in now. So it's important for you to be mindful of, yes, there are things to come. There are things that need done. There are things that we can certainly get ready for. And also just being here now and in this moment is very much important, because we're not going to get this moment back. And so on one hand, we have moms talking about how important the younger years are of their child's life, and how impactful the adjustments that we make in our children's lives are, because we only get this moment once. They're only small and cuddly for this short period of time. And on the other hand, we're looking so far into the future that we're missing it anyway. And I don't want any of us to miss any of it. And I used to be more like this when my daughter was younger, more about the planning, especially when she started school for the first time, when she started kindergarten. I mean, she's going into second grade now. When she started kindergarten, I started planning way ahead. I was already planning, started shopping for clothes early and did all these things, and it was really on top of things. And maybe it was helpful at that time, but it also created um this feeling of me not doing enough, not being on top of it enough. It just kept moving the line forward. When really, even when it comes to, back to school shopping and clothes, most of that stuff you don't even need the first day of school. They can wear what they've been wearing this summer, assuming it's still in good shape. You really don't change seasons until a few weeks into school, so we still have time. The supply list, we rush to get the supply list. We're just waiting, time is ticking. And it's like, oh, I just want the supply list. I need to know what the teachers are going to want. Or you can wait until you get it after the first day of school. Because if you want to make the argument that it's because of money and you will need to spend money and buy things, you can be prepared and prepare yourself by saving money now and setting the money aside and not touching it, because you've earmark that basically for school supplies and school clothes. So we are just inundated with advertisements for, back to school shopping and back to school sales, or even when it comes to time of year where you're planning like your vacations and travel. Soon we're already going to be seeing deals and steals for Christmas. And we won't even have gotten to Halloween at that time. So everything around you is pulling you toward rushing. Everything around you is pulling you out of this moment over and over and over again. And I want to empower you to not feel like you have to be pulled out of the moment, because you can absolutely stay in the present. So a few ways I've been thinking about how we can do that and really sit in the present is it goes back to some self-care strategies, but also it's going to go back to making sure you are doing or really focusing on eliminating distractions. Hey, it's Brittany here, your host of the show, and I'd like to invite you to grab your copy of my book, What Self-Care Looks Like. It's the roadmap for working moms who want to prioritize their self-care and rediscover the joy in their motherhood experience. It's a must-read for any mom who has felt lost, unseen, or unsure along her motherhood journey. Buy it today at www.whatselfcarelooks.com. One common distraction that we all absolutely have is our phones. If we can limit how often we are scrolling, that will help us be that much more present. So, really prioritize putting your phone away, getting off your computer, not being in real time checking your emails and everything. I know that for me, I try not to even pull my phone out too much to do things when we're out and about, because I know if I bring my phone out, even to take a picture or like Google something that someone says that I want to know more about, if I do that right then, I might end up checking my email and then going down a rabbit hole of something. You may not be like that, but that's me. That's something that I know is going to happen. And because of that, I try to minimize having my phone. Sometimes I will just give my phone to my husband, or I will tell the people who are probably trying to get a hold of me, hey, I'm out and about. I don't have my phone today. If you need us, call my husband. That's a way that you can eliminate that distraction. Also, really just sitting with your child outside of spaces where there's like a TV, like minimize the tablet time with them. Just go and sit and kind of let them lead what you're doing. Like for the next hour, let your child lead whatever idea that they have, whether they want you to sit and play with toys, play Play-Doh, do slime, run around outside, within the parameters of it being safe. Just let them set the plan and you rock with that. That will help you stay in the moment. Um, Journaling. So taking the time to reflect on what has happened in the past will help you see how far you've come, see how much you've grown, and to be able to appreciate the moment and have gratitude for it. And you'll be able to sit into the moment that much longer. Because no matter what comes in the future, we can only control so much, even with preparation. And if every month your body is here but your mind is 3 months ahead, you're just going to get to a point where you're just chasing something that may not even pan out the way that you want. You make all these plans, and then when things don't go as planned, it can also create the feelings of, oh well, I'm not good enough, I'm not a good mom because I planned to do this or that and things fell through. So I really advocate for loosely planning. I have talked before about, even with meal planning, buy all your ingredients that you need to make several different meals. Maybe you could make spaghetti, or you could make tacos, or you could make a stir fry with these same ingredients. I have them here. I'll plan it out for the week loosely so that I can deviate and do something different as needed. So all of that, in the grand scheme of things, is what is very important. And I know that this episode is not as polished because I didn't actually sit and write it out before. It's not like I'm interviewing someone and they can fill in the gaps. This has just really been something that's been on my heart for the last couple of weeks because I've been exhausted by how much I am just seeing people being just pulled into, everything that it's not even happening right now. I had a friend ask me just earlier this week, she was asking if we're getting ready for school or how we're preparing for school. And I told her just flat out, I'm not thinking about that right now. Um, and it's not at the top of my priority list right now because I'm trying to stay in the present. And she understood that and how us always thinking ahead to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing just takes us out of where we are. Like right now we're sitting in a plan right now, and instead of enjoying this moment, we are like, okay, what's the next thing? And I this year in 2025 specifically was like, I'm not going to do that. So when I published my book, it was in February when What Self-Care Looks Like came out, and I kind of paused on working in a sense. um I kind of paused on some of the marketing that I typically do in the lead generation that I do to get more coaching clients in business, because I thought about how much work I put in 2024 to build the business and write the book and edit the book. And writing a book takes um a lot of commitment and dedication and a lot of like systems. And if you don't meet your deadline, you're letting yourself down. You're pushing everything back. So it was really about, getting things done. So when my book came out, I felt that I had done so much work, and I kind of had the little um pool to be like, okay, well, what are you going to do next? I mean, I had already had people ask me, okay, well, what's book number 2? I'm thinking, I put on all this work to do book number 1, and you're asking me about book number 2. No, let's talk about this book. And we're going to talk about this book for a while, because this is the book that I spent the time writing, and I'm not going to be thinking anything about book number 2 until I'm like sick of book number 1. Like, what are we doing? What is this pull to just produce and overly produce and do more and more and more and more? Because here's the thing. We can see in our children how much time has passed. It's like sometimes I see my daughter, it's like from one night to the next night. I'm like, did you get taller? How your face has changed. She learns new words. And I don't want to miss that, because there's so much that we can miss in it, because from week to week they are growing and changing and evolving. And I want you to stay grounded in the present. And one way that we do that is through our self-care routine and really prioritizing our overall wellness. Because remember, self-care is the practice of protecting your well-being and happiness. And my hope is that you're doing that daily, and you're always weaving in all of your wellness points. So your social wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness, and intellectual wellness. Those are the 5 wellness points that are going to make you feel the most whole in your motherhood journey. And really sitting in the present, spending time in nature, sitting and leaning into your values, your beliefs, and your moral system, which is all built into your spiritual wellness. That's going to keep you present. That's going to keep you grounded daily. So when you're taking those moments for yourself, when you're prioritizing your self-care, when you're decompressing, you are taking a moment to breathe in the present and sit in the present. There's always going to be something else that needs done. But in those moments where someone's not actively asking you to do something now, where your child's not needing something from you now, I want you to feel comfortable just taking a beat and resting in the present, just sitting in the present and soaking it all in, and feeling joy, and not feeling like you need to be pulled to the next thing. So I'm not highly sure I taught you much or enough in this episode, but I still wanted to tell you, and I still wanted to be here to share that message. And if nothing else, I hope that this has inspired you or at least helps you think more about how you're living and if you are prioritizing being in the present. And, a couple of things that you can do to, ground yourself more, which were like practice gratitude, eliminate your distractions, and let your kids lead a little bit so you can sit in the present and be with them. I appreciate you being here for this episode, and I will talk to you all next week. Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you learned at least one thing you can implement into your daily routine. To connect with me, follow at Back to You in 5 on Instagram. If you're feeling generous, share this episode with a mom you know and subscribe to the show. I appreciate your support. Remember, motherhood is a journey, not a destination. Grow through it and enjoy the view.